Доброго времени суток, друзья, dWayfer на связи. По традиции начнем с дайджеста новостей игровой индустрии. Компания Xbox готовится отпраздновать 20-летие. Компания предлагает всем желающим присоединиться к праздничной трансляции 15 ноября в 9 часов вечера по Москве. CD Projekt Red отметили работы художника Cat Sigma. В качестве поощрения за работу ему подарили артбук, посвященный игре Киберпанк 2077. Студия 343 Industries опубликовала новый трейлер игры Halo Infinite. В видео рассказывается о создании крюка кошки. Инженер UNSC после 78 неудачных попыток в одиночку создала используемые мастером Чифом устройство. Разработчики из студии Frogwares опубликовали новый трейлер игры Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. Они рассказали о способах повествования в игре с помощью кат-сцен. Компания Ubisoft начала распродажу сборника Assassin's Creed Chronicles Trilogy. Игра раздается бесплатно. Акция продлится до 12 ноября 2021 года. Текстовые версии новостей доступны ВКонтакте, Facebook, Twitter, на сервере Discord. Ссылки в описании к трансляции. Новая порция новостей появится на следующем стриме. Сегодня продолжим проходить игру Enderal Forgotten Stories Special Edition. И если получится, собственно, завершим ее прохождение. В прошлый раз мы вернулись с города Звездников. Неизвестно как... Точнее, неизвестно каким образом... Куда исчезли звездники, это непонятно. Но мы нашли подсказку.
Maybe Koarik and his free people do become part of these higher beings they so adore after all. We should tell them. Maybe they'll be so delighted that they will abandon the siege and sail right back to Naren.
Spare us your jests. Archmagister, how long will you need to decipher the map? Archmagister?
I don't know. A couple of days, at least. I should start right away. Excuse me.
А я думал, он уснул.
What is wrong with him?
Jaela was his mentor during his novitiate. But he will get over it. He has to. You did well, Prophet. Despite the complications, the mission was a complete success.
A complete success? What in blazes has happened to you, Tila?
Nothing. And now is not the time for quarreling.
Yaela is dead, Tila. Just like Jorek. Jorek for the name of the gods. And none of this would have happened if we had just given Quarik this idiotic machine. Please, Tila, if my opinion means anything to you, let go of this madness.
I don't care about your opinion. Yorick was a traitor, and Yaela gave her life for something greater than herself. But the latter in particular seems to be something you cannot relate to. Now, silence. I've had enough of your attempts to hinder our mission. Back to the topic at hand. Sharon, what do you make of Jaela's plan to use the word of the dead to enter a High One's mind? I always thought it only enabled its user to relive the last memories of the deceased.
Well, if the High Ones are made of a collective subconsciousness, they are different in that regard. They consist only of memories, and a lot of them. That is, of course, if the Magistra's theory about them is true.
Forgive my interruption, but having seen the Starling's murals, I would say it is. Mankind ascends to become a High One. This is what the cleansing really is.
Then it might work. Used on a High One, the word of the dead could allow us to enter its spirit.
We will take the risk. The walls still hold against Korik's armies, but we need to hurry. As soon as the Arcanists have figured out the map, we will set out to find this city of 1,000 floods. If you have any unfinished business to attend to, you should do it now. Many things will be decided by what's to come. I feel it. Ah, and the apothecarius said that the mercenary will live. He's in the Cararium, in case you want to pay a visit.
Poor Marion. I have never seen him like that. Saira, I almost feel ashamed to bring this up now, but I would like to spend some more time with you before we start this last mission. For some reason, I have a bad feeling about all this. Just meet me in the upper city when you find the time. And be careful whatever you do. We've lost too much already.
Let's hope he knows what he's doing. Ha! Impressive weapon you carry there. It must be ancient, am I right?
Великим магистром уже определенно что-то не то творится. Так.
That's beyond me.
Yes.
Мне довелось услышать ваш разговор с Тручессой. Как она после того, что мы узнали, все еще не верит в то, что угроза реальна?
You know, I know Natara better than you might believe, and I know the reason for her untouchable demeanor. Fear. She's afraid of losing something important to her, something that she helped to create, and that is the Order. You probably do not know this, but unlike most keepers, Natara was not born of the sublime path. Even more than us, she had to fight for her place here. And through immense willpower and discipline, she made it. Not only to become an ordinary keeper, but into the highest league.
Другими словами, Орден — это все, что у нее есть.
Correct. It is all she has ever lived for, and she's afraid that change will destroy it. Your admission into our ranks, our truce with Narazul's mages. She believes that my imprisonment made me into a fool whose only intent is to get his will. She does not realize that all that has happened burdens me as much as it burdens her. And that I would give a lot for her support, rather than this ridiculous bickering.
Похоже, вы пугающе много знаете о Тручессе. Насколько вы были близки?
That's none of your concern, but I presume you have your assumptions.
Вам хотелось бы найти поддержку в ком-нибудь? Впервые слышу от вас нечто подобное.
Everybody needs someone to back them up from time to time. You know, as humans, we are not so different from animals as some try to make us believe. We are like wolves, and every pack needs a leader. Someone in front who is not afraid to make the hard calls. And this is who I am. I did not ask for it, but I will not fail. If my resolve weakens, the others will lose their courage, and I cannot let that happen. But that does not mean that I regret any of the decisions I have made. None of them.
Так. А где похороны будут проходить?
Walk blessed.
My sir.
Huh? The prodigy, huh? Apparently we owe you for the shards of this sigil stone. I didn't think I would ever say this, but thank you. Blazes, it's dark already? Time really does fly by.
Так. Запутался я немного. Где Джуспар-то держит? Надо его проведать. Ага, вот. Лазарет. Надеюсь, он поправится.
Now, isn't this a surprise? The world's nearing its end, yet the prophet takes the time to pay me a visit. What do you need?
Просто хочу проверить, как ты. Как твоя рана?
It does what most injuries do. Hurts. But I'm a lot better, thanks for asking. Truth be told, just lying around here doing nothing's what's bothering me the most at the moment.
Скоро мы отправимся в город Тысячи Разливов. Просто хотел попрощаться.
You did. I'm surprised. I never had the feeling we got along too well, but I guess life is full of surprises. I don't think this will be the end, though. Say what you want about this place, but it'll be a long time before Korak's men break through. The apothecarius said I might even be able to help if I rest for just a few more hours. Just be careful, all right? And find the Numinos.
Так, и похороны. А потом встретиться с Калией. Ага.
Yes. Red madness. Enemies.
В верхнем городе она говорила. Так, это квартал знати, наверное. А где, собственно, похороны-то будут? На рынке? Странное место. Выбрано. А, барак. И...
And so the circle closes, as it does for these three virtuous souls we are mourning today. But fear not, for they gave their life for a just cause, for the greater good, and will thus be walking on the endless paths forever, together with our Lord Malthus. Magistra Jaela, keeper of the third sigil and master of the archives. Stalwyn Willowsong, keeper of the first sigil. And Legium Lightman, novice. May the Lord receive your souls today and grant you that you may walk the paths for eternity.
Oh, just shut up, won't you? As if you believe any of this yourself.
Keeper, you...
Malphus is dead. Our Lord is dead. And if even he could not last through the ages, how is he supposed to lead us along the eternal paths? A dead god?
Take her away.
Yes, just go on. Close your eyes and pretend that none of this is happening. It's what you've always been good at. The cleansing is our punishment, don't you see? The punishment because we failed the Lightborn. That we let someone kill them. And the High Ones will take us all. Do you hear me? They will take us all.
Нервы сдали.
But...
Keep going.
Magistra Jailer, Keeper of the Third Sigil and Master of the Archives. Stalwyn Willowsong, Keeper of the First Sigil.
Да.
And
Тяжелая ситуация.
the Legion Lightman Novice.
Ладно.
The Lord receive your souls today and grant you that you may walk the paths for eternity.
Satyra, you came.
Отличное платье.
Thanks. I thought it was fitting for the occasion. Impressive, isn't it? From here it all seems so peaceful. As if there'd be no enemy army just in front of our gates. As if all this, the cycle, the High Ones, the Naramis, were just imagination.
Меня радует, что все идет именно так. Можно использовать этот перерыв от всего происходящего.
So am I. I wanted... Do you want to hear something funny?
Давай.
The two of us, even though we haven't known each other for that long, we've been through a lot. We underwent the Sigil's trial, we fought our way through ancient ruins, and we found the forgotten home of the Star People. I'd say we make for quite an unusual couple, right? But still, what I'd like to ask of you tonight, I'm ashamed to. It seems so out of place, so mundane.
Ну, приземленным на самом деле звучит хорошо. Как ты хочешь поступить?
Just follow me. I'll tell you when we get there.
Да ты прям девушка-загадка. А чего босиком? Камень холодный, простудишься. Заболеешь. Положат в лазарет вместе с Джеспаром. Веселье все пропустишь. Куда идем-то?
They just sit on their asses and let things settle themselves. Idiots. My sir?
Ты прям заинтриговала.
Sir?
А, понятно.
My sir?
Что там происходит? Куда все бегают?
The Nighthawks. They're a small minstrel group from Duneville, and
Хорошо потанцевали.
The best wine in all of Enderal. Come, give it a try.
Так, опять одеваться. Понятно. Спит Соня. Ладно, я тоже денек отдохну. Может, он и расшифрует карту за это время. Не расшифровал? Еще один день. Надеюсь, не неделю придется ждать. Это будет очень долго. Ага, вот. В смысле, Калия ждет меня у обители? А это кто? Она спит.
The best wine in all of Enderal. Come, give it a try.
Ладно. Наверное, она телепортацией владеет. И собирается за пару минут. Так, обитель. А почему мы танцевали в одном месте, а спали здесь? Больше вопросов, чем ответов. Так, где указатели? Вроде бы там были. Ага. Быстро ты.
Saira, it's good to see you. So, are you ready? The Grandmaster said Shireen was able to decipher the old maps.
Приступим.
Alright then. I suppose there's no point in delaying the inevitable any further, is there? Go on ahead, I'll follow.
Prophet, there's good news. We were able to decipher the Starling's maps, and we now know where to find the City of a Thousand Floods.
И где же?
Sharon was just about to explain. Sharon?
Yes. I suppose you already know that Vin hasn't always been like it is now. In the time of the Pyreans, it was one big continent, which they called Pangora. Only the Starfall in the era of Azateron's madness split it apart. In other words, the Pyreans dominated the entire world as it was back then. It was a world empire. However, until recently, we always thought that the Empire's capital, the City of a Thousand Floods, was situated somewhere near where Kira is today. We were wrong about that. It was here, in Enderal.
Here?
Here, beneath our feet, to be precise.
Yes.
И?
We don't know whether it was a coincidence that Malfa's vassals set the foundation of Ark here, out of all the places they could have. But they did. The heart of the Pyrean Empire was here, right where we stand. Only it's buried now.
Но если это правда, почему никто его до сих пор не нашел? Ведь в туннеле под городом отправляли экспедиции, не так ли?
Hardly.
Under Ark?
Yes. However, it doesn't matter now. What matters is we now know where the last cleansing took place, and that it's somewhere we can reach.
Значит, нам нужно спуститься туда. Но как? На такие глубокие раскопки уйдут годы.
True, but there might be another way. Do you know the myth of the Black Guardian? The Endralians believe that there is some kind of demon deep down below the surface, and that you can even hear him scream if you just listen carefully. Rubbish, of course, but I think that these screams are the sound of wind. And if there's wind...
There are tunnels. So are you suggesting that the Undercity's cavern reaches that deep? Into the City of Floods?
Into what is left of it. All we need to do is find an entrance point that can lead us down.
Then we leave without further delay. There's no point in leading an army down there, so the four of us will go alone. Prophet, speak to the Archmagister and tell him to give you the word of the dead and the container for the Numinos. We will need both. He's at the beacon.
Shouldn't we at least think this through before we go?
Ready your equipment. We'll meet at the gate to the Undercity.
Понял. Будет сделано. А ты не хочешь поговорить?
Heart of the Pyrean Empire right below our feet. Unbelievable. You should go and talk to the Archmagister. I'll wait for you at the Undercity.
Окей.
Oh, aren't you... never mind. How can I help you?
Я ищу Верховного Магистра. Мне сказали, он здесь.
He was. But he went to get something. Why don't you wait until he comes back? I have to admit that it's a great honor to finally meet you in person. You know, when all this started, when the Grand Master exalted you, I thought it was a sin. Granting an Outlander what we have to fight so hard for. But now... Phew! I think Malthus, or whoever sent you, that he did. We owe you a lot. Really.
Я делаю все, что в моих силах.
And you're modest, too. Say... may I ask you something?
Какой?
It. The beacon. Do you really think it'll work? I mean, I'm just a novice, but... if it can really banish the High Ones, how come the Pyreans couldn't save themselves? I just don't understand.
Честно, я тоже, но не думаю, что у нас есть выбор.
You know, I lost someone not too long ago. It was the Naramis, under the command of that butcher Korik. My family has a small farm near the coast, and when the first of the Naramis ships landed, I immediately rode to them to get them into the city, into safety.
Что произошло?
I'm sorry. This isn't easy. Our farm. It's on a small cliff near the farmer's coast. Just a few miles from Ark. I already had a bad feeling when I set out. And then I saw the smoke. And then there was that smell. And...
Какой запах?
the smell of burnt meat. It was everywhere. I rode faster and faster, and then when I got to the house, I saw that it was on fire, and that someone had put up 3 crosses, and they were burning too. My mother, my father, and my sister, they were still alive, you know? And I just stood there, and there was nothing I could do. Do you understand? Nothing. And it doesn't matter how I try to look at it. It all amounts to one thing. I was too weak. I was too late, and I was too weak. That wouldn't have happened to you, would it? You would have done something. You would have saved them. Just as you'll save us. If I could just be more like you, then that's it. All I need is a piece of your flesh. And nothing like that will ever happen again.
Что?
Why? Is that so hard to understand? I don't want much. Just a small piece of it. But you just don't want to share. Isn't that it? You want it all for yourself. Because you're vain. And in all your damn vanity, you don't even see the futility of the whole thing. The beacon won't burn. It never will. Thousands have tried it before you. Thousands who are as arrogant as you are. And they all failed.
How did they say? Just let yourself fall. Because the light will burn you. It will devour you. Until there's nothing left of it.
Вы чего делаете?
Nice and crisp. You're familiar with that, aren't you?
Prophet.
Что за...
We need to stop them.
Последний, одержимый. Как, черт возьми, это здесь могло случиться? Очевидно, нет. Что со светочем? Насколько сильно он поврежден? Какой звук? На город напали?
What in blazes happened here? And what is that noise?
The Neremese. They are in the city. Their entire army.
What? No. This is impossible. This is impossible! And this... What's the meaning of this bloodbath?
I don't know, Grandmaster. The High Ones somehow were able to possess the Keepers here. They tried to destroy the beacon, kill the Prodigy.
What? But the stone, we...
Grandmaster, you have to see this.
What? That the Neremese are in the city? I know that already.
No, we know how they did it. The true Chessa betrayed us.
Nonsense.
It's the truth. She and almost a third of the Keepers followed Bartar's example. Come, you should hear it for yourself.
Этого еще не хватало.
I ordered that the temple gates be closed right away and positioned archers on the battlements. At least for now, none of these Neremese bastards will enter the temple.
Well done.
There. She survived it. Open your eyes, traitor.
What? And Master. I am so sorry. It shouldn't have happened like that. Oh, my mouth is... What have I done?
Tell us what happened.
Of course, Grandmaster. I will. The Trichessa... She contacted Korak and asked for...
Relax. She's bleeding to death, Grandmaster. We need to get her into the curarium.
We will, once we're done. Continue. The Trichessa arranged a meeting with Korak. What did she want from him?
A truce. She offered him the city. If he would promise not to harm anyone. She had this stone. You know, this sigil stone that protects us keepers from the High Ones. Korak. He agreed. Once the gates were open, he... Yes, the Trichessa. He just... Even though she kept her end of the bargain. Then they swarmed into the city and... Oh, but Malphas, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Take her to the Curarium.
Yes, of course, Grandmaster. Lirum, Yetta, bring me a stretcher.
Wait. You have to forgive me. I mean, we only wanted the best. You have to believe me. Please don't let me die as a pathless. Please.
I forgive you. Now go.
Yes, of course, Grandmaster.
What are your orders, Grandmaster? We aren't many, but if we use cunning, we might be able to drive them back out of...
We will not. We are no more than 6 up here, and the Narimis are thousands. And both our black powder and our boiling oil are in the barracks.
Then it's over. We've lost.
What? No! Nothing is over! They can't be that far into the city yet. We only have to drive them out of the gates, and then...
And how exactly are you planning to do that? By loading the cannons with sugar mint and shooting balls of herbs at the Naramis? Great idea, really.
You sodding!
Quiet! Narajil and Sharim are right, Commander. Ark is lost. But our war against the High Ones isn't. The beacon still stands, and it will continue to do so as long as we hold the temple. We've lost the battle, yes. Not the war. All we need is the Numenors, and then the beacon will be lit.
And what then? I don't think Korak will withdraw once we've destroyed his vision of this ascent.
Correct, he won't. Which is why we will surrender.
What?
It is the only way. As I said to the Trichessa before, this war is about more than just us. If we choose to give up now, or if we choose to fight and die down there, Korak will destroy the beacon either way and let the cleansing happen. We will prevent that at all costs. Which is why we will find the Numenors, light the beacon, and then surrender. Yes, we will. We will die, but there is no alternative. Korak isn't man enough to participate in the battle himself. So even if we were to break out and fight, all we would do is kill his delusional soldiers. And their deaths would be as pointless as this entire war. Once the High Ones are vanquished, we've done our duty. That's it.
But no! We are warriors, and true warriors fight! You've said that!
Ask questions. Like the question, when does a battle for ideals become nothing more than a battle for vanity? Those soldiers down there, Commander, they are nothing more than butchers. But we are more than that. But I will not stop you. As soon as the beacon is lit, you're free to flee. But for now, you will hold this place at all costs while we search for the Numenors. Archmagister, do you have the word of the dead?
I do, yes. How do you plan to get into the Undercity from here? The entire city is swarming with Korex's soldiers.
Leave that to me. Commander Aaron, gather the remaining keepers and arcanists. I will address them.
Как все завертелось-то, а? Столько событий за несколько минут.
You all know what has happened. We were betrayed by our own brothers and sisters. As we speak, people are dying, slaughtered by the Naramis, who think we are their enemy. And I know what you are feeling right now. Anger. Anger aimed at those in our ranks who did this to us. But you're wrong. Despite their deed, they wanted to protect us, to fulfill their holy duty. And the same applies to Korek and his soldiers. Yes, they are deluded. Yes, they have committed crimes past redemption, but they, too, only did what they thought was right. If there is someone to blame in all this, it's the High Ones, and no one else. They, brothers and sisters, they are the ones responsible. They have no mind, no compassion, no soul, and their only reason for existing is to destroy. They are cowards who act out of the shadows and play us against each other like puppets on strings. And right now, they think they have won. They think they can defeat us. But they will fail, because we are still here. We have the beacon, the only thing capable of stopping all this madness. And that is exactly what we're going to do. After that, you are free to go. Flee, fight, do whatever you think is best. I myself will surrender, because every drop of blood spilled after we have done our duty and destroyed the High Ones is useless. And even if the Naramis kill me, my death will be a sign. A sign that people like Korek will never understand. Hatred breeds hatred. This is what history has taught us. And this is what makes the High Ones strong. Stand by me when the time comes, or go. But until then, fight. Follow me. We will talk in the Emporium.
Веди.
A machine that can banish these High Ones. The mysteries of this world are endless, aren't they?
Не сюда.
there she goes. 4,000 years this city has stood. And now she is aflame. It is a tragedy.
Вы говорили, что мы собираемся искать Нуминос, но как? Как вы собираетесь добраться до подгорода, когда на улицах не римцы?
There is another way. I suppose you already know that the Order was never proud of the fact that something like the Undercity exists. And maybe you also know that we and the Relata had an informal agreement. They rule the underground and we rule the surface. In reality, however, this is only half the truth. We never handed over the reins entirely. There is a plan B in case things get out of control and the Undercity's inhabitants revolt, like they did once during the Blood Moon riots.
План Б? Догадываюсь, что это может значить.
Probably. I will make it short. There's a set of tunnels throughout the King's Mountain on which this temple was built, and they lead all the way down into the Undercity. They were built to release poison gas into the entire cave system.
Дайте угадаю, ваш план заключается в том, чтобы пробраться в подгород по этим туннелям?
Down and back up again. Yes. The Nerimes do not know about these tunnels, and when they find out, it will be too late. We descend, we find the Numinos in the City of Floods, and we light the beacon. After that, you know what I will do. There is a way into the tunnels through the dungeons of this temple. Meet me and Sharim there once you're ready to depart. And bring your beloved with you. Prepare yourself. We will meet in the dungeon.
Секунду. Что-то пошло не так. Странно. Ладно, сейчас попробую еще раз. Надеюсь, не вылетит. Так.
And there she goes. There is, I suppose you already, and there is a, probably. I will make it down. After, there is a way, and prepare yourself. We will meet in the dungeon. There is another way. I suppose you already know. Probably. I will make it short. There's a set of tunnels throughout the King's Mountain in which this temple was built, and they lead all the way down.
Не знал, что здесь подземелье есть. В храме. Видимо, многого не знал. Так, и...
Prophet, we will do what we can here, but first, who knows?
Saira.
Не слишком приятное зрелище, верно?
No, and so unnecessary. Rampaging through the streets, slaughtering innocents, yet they still think they're doing the right thing. Sad, isn't it? Anyway, no point in worrying about it now, I guess. What did he say? How is he planning to get us down into the Undercity?
В городе под храмом есть туннели, предназначенные для того, чтобы подавать ядовитый газ под город, если там будет восстание. Мы собираемся воспользоваться ими, чтобы спуститься туда.
So a system designed for genocide turns out to be our path to salvation. If fate has anything, it is a sense of humor. Anyway, there is one thing I wanted to ask you before we set out. If things happen as Aranthiel thinks they will you surrender to Quarak?
Не знаю. Если есть какой-то способ пережить это, я предпочту попытаться.
I can relate to that. I'll go meet up with Sharim and the Grandmaster. I'll see you there.
Так, и где все? Здесь надо полагать. А как они мимо крыс прошли?
They're here. One moment.
А что это такое?
Interesting. If I may ask, Grandmaster, how does that work?
It's a sigil, and it can only be opened by one bearing the Grandmaster's sword. Follow me.
Башни под землей. Странное решение. Ну, веди дальше.
In case you were wondering, those three water gates up there contain the Starling machinery which releases the poison gas. As long as we do not open them, we can pass safely through the tunnels.
So, this tunnel system, how many exit points does it have? I assume that a single exit into the Undercity wouldn't have sufficed to poison it all by itself, would it?
No. There are a total of 8 exits. And we will be using the one that leads into the Crow District. According to Maragil, we should be able to find a suitable entrance point into the old depths from there.
Интересная архитектура. Сколько тут всякого обитает. А вот уже более знакомая архитектура подгорода. Куда дальше? Вообще-то нет. Ну ладно. Дай пройти. А ты здесь откуда? Так, давайте-ка как-то по одному. Там еще и маг. Ну, прелесть. Тебя только не хватало. Молодец, Шарим. Так, с этими двумя все. Зараза. Все, готовы. А вот и выход. Что дальше?
Impressive.
Entropy.
Lead the way, Prophet. You know what we are looking for.
Так. Время рыбки. Это прошлое или то, что будет? Да, но в этот раз все было как-то по-другому, сильнее.
The High Ones. They're trying to prevent us from reaching the temple.
Так. Многовато вас. Сюда. Сюда. Действительно древние туннели. Интересно, к чему они приведут. Так. Вот уже и постройки стали различимы. А вот и вход куда-то.
The city of a thousand floods, coming of the sun. It's so beautiful.
And dangerous. Come, we need to get down there.
Да.
He has betrayed us! Jakal opened the gates and now they're killing everyone!
The temple! Retreat to the
You
temple!
have a choice, and you've chosen ignorance. Now pay the price.
У них, получается, все было точно так же, как и у нас.
What did you see?
Перейцы, кто-то тоже их предал и помог этому Джакалу попасть в их город. И, похоже, его мотивы близки к Уареку.
What? Prophet.
In other words, all that we have done so far is almost identical to how things went to the Pyreans. We are still part of the pattern.
But does that mean everything we have achieved hasn't made a difference at all? That we found the black stars, the ancient starlines.
All that the Prophet has seen is that someone betrayed the Pyreans too, and that this jackal was deluded as this fool Korek. We knew that already. We are the first to be so close to lighting the beacon. I feel it.
Да. Слишком близко. У него уже какой-то фанатизм начинается. Вот эта башня. Похоже, она бесконечно вниз идет. А, нет. Вот, наконец-то. Первый этаж. Земля. А вот и храм, наверное.
All these corpses. How can they still be here? They should have decayed long ago.
Good question.
Идем?
It looks like magic to me. Look at how gray their skin is. Like ashes.
Cleansing. It must have done this to them. What we see here, it must have been their final moments before the High Ones devoured them.
I fear you're right. They must have tried to get into the temple, into safety. In vain. This is tragic.
Yes, very tragic. Are you done?
Impressive. I suppose we have company.
You are impressive, you know that? Everything around you is falling apart, yet you refuse to give up. Tell us, Serapia, what makes you keep going?
Are you trying to manipulate me? If so, save your breath and fight instead.
Oh my, so grim. How nice it would be if everything could just be killed, wouldn't it? Even the past. Tell us, do your companions know the truth about you? All of it?
Let's go. This is pointless.
Pointless? You wound us. All we want is to help them understand. Just look at them. How clueless they are.
Are you deaf? Shut up. Your games don't work on me.
You'll take that as a no.
But there has to be a way.
Not here in Enderal, Tilo. We could hide the pregnancy, but a living child? A lightborn and immortal. It's blasphemy. As ridiculous as that may sound coming from my mouth. You could flee with him, you know. Take him somewhere where no one will find you.
What? Orlando, that... no. They would recognize us for who we are.
Not if we took precautions. But even if they did, no one would dare oppose a Lightborn. No one. Tilo, please, don't let him grow up without a father. He will be special. I can feel it. And he will need you.
What is this? But... no, I can't. The Council, Orlando. You know what they said about me. They want to do it.
You mean the exaltation? I can't believe you just said that. This is about a child, Tilo. Our child.
Yes, our child. Why don't you tell me another 1,000 times? I have obligations, damn it. And you should know that better than anyone else. You know how hard I've worked to get here, Orlando. And now you want me to give it all up? For this thing?
Tilo, how? I just don't know what to say. Being a seraph, it's a title by the name of the sun. A title. How can that possibly be more important to you than... oh, I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it.
Of course you can't. You've never known what it means to have to fight for something. We will give him away to one of your servants. It is better that way, for him and for us.
What would have happened if you had been there for your son, I wonder? Would he have ever started to blame the gods for this deep hatred lurking inside him? You made your son into what he became, and all because a promotion was more important to you than your own flesh and blood. And that is why you will fail here, don't you see? Because failing is what you do. As a soldier, as a protector of the gods, and as a father. You are a butcher, a loser, not the glorious savior you want people to remember you as. Admit it already.
That's a lot of crap. What are your orders, Grandmaster?
We will see about that. Sean, you and Keeper Sicaros cover our backs. You have it fight at my side.
Так, вот это уже опасно. Надо, наверное, мага сначала.
You are a butcher, a loser, not the glorious savior you want people to remember you as. Admit it already.
Ага, вот она. Готово. Самый опасный. Закончен. Остальные тоже закончены. Зараза. Так, дальше идем. В смысле путь свободен? Ты что, слепой? Так, рыбка. Так, так. Кто? Откуда? Так. Это нечто огромное. Так. Все равно терять уже нечего. Готово. Последний рывок.
It's locked. What do we do?
We will break it open. Do you see the ballista up there? Keep a Sakarish. You. Wait. Do you feel that?
Что? Откуда здесь дракон взялся?
Wait, he's moving.
Yes. Yes, that is good. Stay with us.
Что случилось?
You were hit by a piece of debris, but we are safe, at least for the moment.
Дракон. Куда делся дракон? Где он сейчас?
His attack brought down the entire facade, but it also cut him off from us. He will not be able to get inside here.
А что с Халией? Где она?
The building came down on top of her. There was nothing we could do. I know how close you were. I'm sorry.
И что теперь? Мы должны найти ее.
Yes, and we will. But to do that, we need to find another way out of this place. So, no matter what else we do, we first have to go deeper into the temple.
Ах ты зараза. И что теперь? Что нам делать?
We finish this. That arrogant display of the High Ones was a bluff. They are afraid of us, and this puppet show out there was their last trump card. But they have failed. We're here, and we are close. All that matters now is that we summon the High One and take the Numinos from him. Then it is over. Thank the gods your injuries are only superficial. Just try to keep up.
Снова.
What a waste of time.
Надеюсь, недалеко. Ага, вот оно.
Did you see that?
Interesting. That must be the echo. We are so close to where the last cleansing happened that not only the prophet sees it, but we do as well.
Это оно? Или нет? Видимо, нет. А вот и он. Их светоч. Похоже. Так, куда дальше? Отсюда мы пришли? Или отсюда? Ага. Вот оно.
There it is. The beacon. By the gods, how similar they are. Sharim, do you have the word of the dead with you?
Yes.
Good. Then place it in front of the beacon. And prepare yourself. Prophet, it is now up to you. Somehow you must recall the moment when the last cleansing happened. If Yayla's theory is right, this is the only way to get our hands on something close to a physical form of a High One.
И как именно это сделать? Я не могу контролировать эхо.
No, but maybe you can somehow lure it. According to all that you have told me so far, the echo seems to react to things or situations connected to the cycle. Take a look around and see if you can find something.
Хорошо, посмотрим, что у меня получится сделать. Дайте мне немного времени.
All right.
Так, эхо найти, да? А как оно выглядит? Ага.
It was almost as if the beacon longed for the stones. They are the key. I feel it.
Различные предметы. Прям как у нас Тручесса.
They are similar to magic, or the power responsible for the tides. They are pure energy.
Еще два предмета. Так. Что-то я не вижу больше ничего. А если без факела? Они вроде как подсвечиваются, да? Может, тут что-то есть? Нет, здесь уже ничего. Надо, значит, в зале со светочем искать что-то. Еще. А вот что искать? Непонятно. Ага.
The beacon was created to banish the High Ones from existence, but to do that, we need something from them.
И еще одно что-то. А вот и оно, последнее.
The core of this sickness is in people's heads. It is a way of thinking. But you will never understand that, High Priest. Will you?
Что происходит? Надеюсь, все получится. Это...
We have made it. How are you feeling, Prophet? Luring the echo like that, it must have strained you.
Так оно и есть, но я в порядке. Это место кажется таким странным.
It does, indeed. We are in the consciousness of a past civilization. Do you see that up there? Yaela was right after all. This is our Numinars, the essence of a High One.
I wish you could see this.
И все, получается, победа. И что теперь? Как мы заберем сущность из сосуда?
We will see about that. Maybe that question will answer itself. Sharon, do it. Carry the container to the essence.
As you command, Aranthio.
What is it? What are you waiting for?
Tell me, Aranthio. Back in the ruins, when the High Ones showed you that memory, it was the first time I saw you express real agitation. Not anger, but agitation. What you did to your son, do you regret it, I wonder? That you abandoned him in exchange for prestige and power?
What?
I don't think you do. What got to you was being reminded of your own failure. Regret? You don't know that feeling. You never have. Not even after Kira.
Child, what are you?
I hired the mercenaries with Khalim. I helped him kill Lashari. And I let the Neramis into the city. And still, you don't have the slightest idea who I am, do you?
By... you were there. The night of 1,000 fires.
Yes. I survived your massacre. One of only a few.
Then you did not follow my son because you shared his ideals. You did it to get to me. What for, Yuzna? Justice?
Justice. I am done with this world, Aranthio. I have been for a long time now. The only reason why I'm still here is a promise I made to someone. The promise that one day, I will be the one who takes everything from you.
Yuzna, this is madness. Whatever you are planning to do, it will affect the whole world, not just me. If you want my death, why not just wait, damn it? Once we have lit the beacon, Korek will kill me. That way, all those innocent lives will be...
Just shut up! You take me for such a fool? As if there's anything in this world you would want more than to die a martyr! Teal'c Aranthio, conqueror of the High Ones, savior of mankind. You like the sound of that, don't you? You like it so much. You know, at first, I was so frustrated with all the setbacks. When the Prophet saved Lashari's research in Aldrashengrad, and when Quarek's first attack on the city didn't succeed. But then I realized that all of this would be so much more gratifying than anything else I could do to you. Your final attempt, and so close to your target, only to fail by my hand. You asked me once what my daughter's name was. Do you remember?
Yes, I beg you, please.
Lena. Her name was Lena.
No. That's impossible.
Что он сделал? Уничтожил его?
You fool. Miserable, selfish fool! You killed us all!
Impressive, Raphael. You really were close. A shame that you were too preoccupied with yourself to see it coming.
Beasts! You damn beast! He was possessed! Possessed from the start!
Oh no, Raphael. I'm afraid that is only half true. We reap, but you sowed. Of course we possessed him, but you did all the heavy lifting back at Kira when you gave the order to massacre everyone dear to him, including his wife and his poor daughter. And so, it is a happy ending after all, isn't it? Without the Numinos, you have nothing to use the beacon's power on. And the only thing it is good for now is the destruction of your own beloved city. It will be a feast, and there will be nothing left of you once we've devoured you. Nothing but cold, gray flesh. It is just as we said. You have failed as you always have done. What is it, Arathio? Lost your tongue?
No. No. I have not. Not at all. You have just presented me with a solution.
Are you deaf? There is no solution. The cleansing will happen, and you will all die.
Yes. Yes, we will. Your Messiah, the citizens of the city, the armies, we will all burn like the sun. And then it will be over.
You're fantasizing, Arathio. Without...
Not this time. Here we must go our separate ways. Believe me, I wish it were otherwise. But in your condition, you would just be a burden. And I cannot afford any risks.
Что?
I'm sorry.
О чем ты говоришь? Что ты задумал?
The High Ones are right. We cannot use the beacon to banish them anymore. But do you remember what the Archmagister said? Without the Numinos, the beacon's energy would burst out without direction.
Да, именно поэтому мы отправились искать Нуминос. Если бы мы зажгли светоч без него, это вызвало бы...
Cause a massive explosion, yes. And that is the only thing we can do for mankind now. Korek was and is essential to the High One's plan. Whatever shape the actual cleansing takes, he wants to make sure it will happen. And we, Prophet, We may have failed in breaking the cycle for ourselves, but not for the others.
Прошу прощения.
The other people of this world, Araziel, Kira, Kile, they're affected by the cycle as much as Enderal. And I know that there must be people like us. People who have had the same dreams and feel what is about to happen. And if we kill Koarek and his armies, we buy these people time. Time to gather knowledge. Time to build a new beacon, and time to light it themselves.
Так значит, ты хочешь взорвать маяк, но как же город? Как все те люди, что погибнут?
Those whom the Nerimes have not yet massacred anyway, you mean? They will die, as you and I will. But they will do so for mankind's salvation. And this is something worth dying for. It is the only way, don't you see? Either we die here, rotting with the Pyreans, or we choose to give our death meaning by at least stopping this fanatic Koarek and his armies. The High Ones are a lot weaker than they pretend to be. I feel it. We were so close to destroying them, and I have faith in the others out there who will fight them. They will succeed where this scum Sharim made us fail.
Ты совсем потерял рассудок? Мы не можем приговорить к смерти весь Enderal ради какой-то смутной надежды. Эти люди, они верят тебе, Арантиаль.
So, a shepherd cannot decide the fate of his sheep. What is this really about, Prophet? Your life? The life of this woman who's so dear to you? Now is not the time for arrogance and selfishness. All of this is about more than just us. That you fail to see this disappoints me, Prophet. I thought better of you than that. But it does not matter anymore. I've made my choice. I'm sorry.
All begins with the dreams. Breathe.
Где-то я это уже слышал. Это что?
Enter the mind of a High One? I hope you're joking. This was their last stand. They are afraid of us. I feel it.
killed us. You've killed us all. You have just shown me the solution.
Так это тоже все уже было. Где я? Что это за место? Кто это? Или что это? Что за... Кто ты? Что это за место? Фантом? О чем ты, черт побери, говоришь? Что все это значит?
Prophet dies when the Emperor leaves him. This is the course of the game. It has always been so. Explain yourself. How did you find this place? And why do you still exist?
Женщина под вуалью. Она вылечила меня и открыла портал.
Her? But why? She does not have a mind. She does not have feelings. So why should she do this? But still you speak the truth. I can feel it. Then could it really be that the unlikeliest of all eventualities has become reality and brought you here?
Я не понимаю, о чем ты говоришь. Кто ты? Что ты?
It's been too long since I've spoken to anyone. I have had many names. The Akarians called me the God of Death. The Moonskin people, the Warden of Dreams. The Pyreans, and the Demon of the Deep. For your people I am, or was, the Black Guardian. Pompous names, I know. However, I am none of these, neither god nor demon. I am only an eye, condemned to observe again and again.
Ты знаешь перийцев? Во имя богов, сколько же тебе лет?
Does you measure time? Older than your most daring chronicles go back, by far. I have seen since our people fell, every civilization, every cleansing, every turn of the cycle.
Получается, ты как-то пережил очищение твоей цивилизации? Ты один из древних звездников?
What? No. The Starlings came long after me. I was only a fool who wanted to save his own skin at any cost. I knew the cleansing would come. I had known it long before the Red Madness and the war started. But I also knew that fighting it as my people did, and as most do, was pointless. So I looked for another way to prevail. And I found it. What you see here is the result. The Goliath, as I like to call it back then.
Но твой план сработал? Ты построил эту машину, стал ей и пережил очищение?
As the only one of my people, yes. But it happened faster than it should have. And when the cleansing occurred, the Goliath Goliath was not yet finished, and as the Emperor unleashed the light, I had no choice but to complete the joining too early. A fatal error, as it turned out. I did survive, yes. But I am trapped inside this unfinished machine. And ever since then, all I can do is watch. Again and again.
Мы еще не проиграли. Поглотят ли нас выше или нет, зависит от того, что произойдет, когда Арантиаль взорвет Светоч.
You are stumbling through the fog, even now that it is almost over. By themselves, the High Ones are not the problem. If we would just see them as they really are, they would become powerless.
Бессильно?
Yes. It is hard to put into words. I myself do not know everything about the High Ones. Only that they are part of something we call the cycle. A civilization arises and blossoms, and then, always at the same stage of their development, the High Ones appear, and with them, the Red Madness. People start losing their minds, wars erupt, and chaos rules. Until 2 or 3 years later, the cleansing happens. The moment when the High Ones devour the collective consciousness, the gathered minds of this civilization, to give birth to a new one of their own. Despite all of this, nobody knows what drives them. Perhaps they act out of malice, out of an urge to survive, or perhaps they do not even have a will of their own, but are like a force of nature. But I do know one thing, as powerful as they might be, it is mankind who gives them that power. We make them into what they are, because what nobody understands is simply this. The High Ones feed on what humanity has the most of, their ego, greed, pride, fear, and their everlasting search for an enemy who is responsible for all their misery. It is those traits the High Ones make use of. These characteristics are what make us human. And by themselves, they are harmless. Only when we bury them, when we deny them, then they play into the High Ones' hands. So why is this, you ask? It is simple. The High Ones alone cannot make the cleansing happen. Only a human can. With the beacon, my knowledge about it is as limited as my knowledge about the cycle. It has existed since the beginning of time, and despite what you might now believe, the ancient writings about it are true. Lit by the ones who carry the Numenos, it can banish the High Ones once and for all. But it can also destroy us. Because what happens when it is lit without a core is far more than an explosion. It is the cleansing, the triumph of the High Ones. And even as we speak, a human, Tealor Orinthiol, has done it again. A bright light will appear from the heart of the machine and open a hole in the sky. And within hours, it will spread throughout the world, and they will all feel it. A fire that burns them from within. A white light which will break through their flesh. Do you understand now? The High Ones have no power. All they do is to feed on our weaknesses, manipulate us into bringing about our own destruction. It is we who forge the sword that kills us. We who lead them to their victory. Even though the key to salvation has always been in our hands. But instead of realizing our folly, we make the same mistake. We repeat the same fate over and over. And only because we refuse to see the truth. Yes, the High Ones are our enemy. But who wants to hear that it is our ego, that dark voice within us, that empowers them? It is so ironic. The moment we would realize all this would be the moment it all came to an end. But we do not.
Так вот о чем те сны были с папочкой. Понятно.
They reap, we sow. Dreams, thoughts, visions, they are everywhere. But the principle is always the same. They throw a tainted seed into a fertile ground. The rest happens by itself.
Получается, что Арантиаль только что начал очищение? Подписал смертный приговор всему человечеству?
Like 1,000 others before him, the High Ones knew exactly what they had to do to get him to commit this last act of desperation. They played him with his weaknesses and fears, like a figure on a chessboard. And the saddest part is that until the very end, he will believe that he has done something good.
Потому что он не сможет признать поражение, какова бы ни была цена.
That was his greatest fear, yes, to be remembered as a failure, a broken man.
Гордость.
That was the stream the High Ones manipulated him from the moment he died, after attempting to flee from his prison on Nerim.
С того момента, как он умер, что ты имеешь в виду?
The real Orenthial, he is dead, Prophet. He is a fleshless one of the mightiest tools of the High Ones. Just as you are.
Я мертвец? Тогда что же это, иллюзия?
I wish it were. The methods of how the High Ones influence us are plentiful, and the red madness and their ability to enter our dreams are not their only means. Their mightiest tool is the creation of projections, fleshless ones, or emissaries, as they are also called. If a person dies, and if this person has one last unfulfilled wish, a compulsion, then the High Ones have the power to create a projection of him, an immaterial image of the deceased, which thinks itself real and is perceived as such. What no one notices, not even the projection itself, are two things. Firstly, it is driven by this last unfulfilled desire. Secondly, it becomes an idealized version of its former self, almost tailor-made to free itself from the last compulsion, that ultimate scourge. The daughters of fishermen become warriors. Broken generals become charismatic and driven leaders who seem almost too determined to be real. You are one of these projections, as are all of the emissaries. You are a fleshless one, a spirit searching for liberation from something. I do not know your past before you came to this land, because before you became the prophet, you were insignificant. But what happened to you and your friend on that ship never survived it. You drowned in the Red Sea, and in that very moment, the High Ones entered your mind and made you into what you are today. And other than myself, the High Ones knew your compulsion, knew the desire that drove you. Whatever it was, it made you predictable, and it allowed them to play you, just as they played Orenthiol and Korak. Do you see it now? Every dream the High Ones sent you, every time they appeared to you, they all had but a single purpose: to feed your self-image, to push you in a certain direction. They wanted you to play the game for their purposes, and they succeeded. You read the echo of the future, as other prophets did before you. You helped Orenthiol reconstruct the beacon, and led him to the Numinos. When he saw that it would be taken away from him at the very last instant, his fear of failure led him into doing what he did. You are not to blame, Prophet. You did what countless others did before you, and you did it because you thought it was the right thing to do. Only one thing is different. In all the time I have been here, never before did a projection realize its own nature. You were meant to dissolve like the rest of mankind. Yet, here you stand, and I tell you the truth. This was never meant to happen.
Может быть, всему этому есть причина? Может быть, мы все еще можем остановить очищение?
Oh, stop it. No, it is too late for that. By the name of the sun, it is so ironic that the veiled woman did not lead you here earlier. It is over, Prophet. You are strong, but regardless of how long your power can protect you from the light of the cleansing, eventually you will dissolve too. Even if... Wait. No. Maybe you are right. Maybe there is a way.
Какой выход?
But no. It would be pointless.
Что было бы бессмысленно? Почему?
Forgive me, I have to think. Yes, there could be a way. What I told you is true. Here on Earth you would not survive the cleansing. But there is one place where you could. The Star City. I know that you brought something back from your journey there. The escape pods. And I know that they can also take you back there, for I have seen the Yalam Rashe, the ancient starlings, do so. Whatever has protected the city over all these millennia, it would protect you too. Yes, you could survive it. By the face of time, you could.
Ты хочешь предложить побег? Но зачем? Это не остановит очищение.
No, it would not. But that is irrelevant. You are fleshless, a projection. And just like me, time cannot touch you. Age cannot kill you. And thus you could succeed where I have failed. You could wait for the cleansing to be over. And then create a new humanity.
Создать что?
Create a new humanity. It is only a matter of time until the new turn of the cycle starts. New life will come forth. First, simple life, then human. And just like the civilizations before them, they will also fall victim to the High Ones, because they will have the same weaknesses as we do. But not with your help. You could be a god to them. You could guide their ascent. You could shape a mankind free of egos and weaknesses. And by doing so, you would deprive the High Ones of their power. Just imagine, in this new world, there would be no need for a beacon, because the High Ones simply would not have any strings to pull on. Mankind will defeat them by becoming superior.
Мне это не нравится, но, возможно, ты прав. Может быть, новое начало все изменит.
It means a lot to me to hear you say that. What is important now is that we act quickly. The cleansing is already happening, and you will not have much time left to flee. You must go through the portal and then back to the temple. Then you have to activate the pods, and the rest will happen automatically. When all this is over, I will try to reach out to you.
Есть еще кое-что. Ты говорил, что можешь видеть, что происходит в мире. Что с Калеей? Она действительно... Она мертва?
She is. I'm sorry, but this is one more reason why you have to do the right thing. Please, make her death matter.
Хорошо, так и поступим. Тогда сейчас мне нужно вернуться в храм.
Yes, and hurry. You will feel the light as soon as you are back on the surface. And given time, it will consume you. But you will succeed. I feel it. There is one more thing I need to ask of you, however. One final request. I want you to shut me down.
Включили? Ты имеешь в виду, убили тебя?
Yes. I want to finally rest. Please do not try to convince me to do otherwise. All that. I do not want to be a part of it any longer. I have not wanted to for a long, long time. Please, do it. The switch is in front of you. That was how I connected myself to the Goliath. It will cut the connection as well. Do it, and then go. Go and fulfill your fate.
Вот этот?
Thank you.
Ах ты зараза.
Forgive me. The two of us will now exchange places. I am sorry for the deception. And if there were another way, I would not do this. Even though you made the right choice, you are too naive to become a true god. What do you know? What have you seen? You are but a toddler in the face of time. I, however, know mankind better than anyone else, and I deserve it.
Еще один эгоист.
This is all over. I will send someone to free you from the Goliath. But until then...
Over here, Sayura, quickly. By the name of the sun, are you alright? I was so worried when...
Miserable fool! I would have kept my word. But if you want to play games, fine! I have had enough time to practice.
Oh, Kirash.
Что за...
What are you doing? You're get yourself killed. We need to deal with these things first.
Powerless up there, but this place is mine, and I will take what I deserve.
Focus, Claire. Focus.
Так, еще раз.
Oh, gosh.
Powerless up there, but this place is mine, and I will take what I deserve.
Так. Как их уничтожить тогда?
Damn it, not again. Don't let that glowing thing reach you.
What have you seen? What have you achieved? I deserve this!
Так, и что дальше?
For the name of the sun, get away from the glowing creature quickly.
Ага, понятно. Сюда их подводить. Идем со мной.
Focus, Kalia. Focus.
Так, еще одно. Ага, все.
Now.
Интересно, а что это за существа? Так, и что? Ага, вот она. Одна готова. Еще одна осталась. А вот ты где скрываешься. Снова эти твари. Так, еще раз рыбку. Опять куда-то туда убежала. Ну да. Чуть-чуть осталось. В этот раз не убежала. Или убежала. А,
Name of the sun. Get away from the glowing creature quickly.
уйди от меня.
Focus, come here. Focus. Now, attack the generators.
Последний рывок. Готово. Пора валить отсюда.
I suppose the explanations will have to wait.
Я расскажу тебе по пути обратно как можно детальнее, но сейчас нам нужно вернуться в храм. Очищение, оно происходит прямо сейчас.
I had a feeling that might be the case. Go on ahead. I will follow. I had assumed as much. Yuslan and he didn't even try to help me after that dragon attacked us. I was lucky to find another way in, otherwise I would never have found you. And you are...
В чем дело?
My head, it feels as if it's on fire. This must be the cleansing. If this is how it feels down here, then fate have mercy on those who are on the surface. Don't you feel anything?
Едва. Это ощущается слабо вроде.
Then the Black Guardian was right, wasn't he? What you are, your fleshlessness, it protects you. Kirash, I just don't understand. You are here, standing right before me, and I can see you. How is that possible? Could you really be an illusion?
Я не знаю, но это правда. Теперь все то, что говорил обо мне старец, имеет смысл. И это тело, которое мы нашли в живом храме.
I suppose so. So, what now? Your decision, is it final?
Думаю, Черный Страж прав. Нужно бежать. Если нам и удастся спасти тех, кто еще жив, они повторят нашу судьбу.
I understand. Then, in a few hours' time, the two of us will be the only survivors of mankind. That sounds so unreal. You have to prepare the escape pods. I will wait for your signal. Then we must move quickly. Even down here, this burning gets worse by the minute. I can't imagine how it will be that close to the beacon. Be careful, Saira. We can't afford any mistakes.
Так. Куда идти? Угу. Вижу. А вот и храм уже. Так, а у меня есть один свиток. Шамаэль. Командующий. Джеспар. Что тут произошло?
They tried to storm the temple, as the Grand Master said they would. We tried to stop them, but there were just too many of them. Renthil, he came back just when we thought it was too late.
Что он сказал?
That Sakarish, Yuslan, and you, he said that the High Ones got you. But that he had the Numinos with him, and that he would save us all.
Он зажег его.
Yes. Just then the Naramis broke through the gate. But it all happened so quickly. There was this flash, and suddenly this rift in the sky. The light, it burns us. Can't you feel it?
Я отличаюсь. Это тяжело объяснить.
Tell me one thing about you which isn't. But I suppose it doesn't matter anymore, does it? I don't have much longer. I can feel it. Tell me, my friend. Why? Was the beacon a trap from the very beginning? I thought it would save us.
Он мог бы, но нам так и не удалось найти Нуминос Джеспар. Карим уничтожил его. Рантиаль зажег светоч без него, а это спровоцировало очищение.
What? But you're here. That must mean something, right? You can stop it. You have to.
Для этого уже поздно, но надежда еще есть.
Oh. I like how that sounds. It's strange, isn't it? The way life sometimes goes. Here I am, Jaspar Delveric, the man who for once in his life wanted to be part of something good. Man, some great hero I am. But you know what? I don't regret it.
Мир тебе. Где эта сволочь?
Is that you? I did it.
Ты сделал это, ты вызвал очищение.
What? No, you're wrong, darling. I saved them. Don't you see? I led them to the light. Alone.
Да. Эгоист до самого конца. Ладно, пора выбираться отсюда. А это что? Все-таки они капсулы вернулись сюда. Это хорошо.
Quickly, get us out of here.
Поехали. И снова сон. Только в этот раз небо неясное. Повсюду дождь. Папочки нет. Куда ты ведешь? Мы в городе звездников. Что произошло? Как мы здесь оказались?
I don't know. When I woke up, we were here. You were still unconscious, so I thought it would be wise to let you rest a little. Just look at that. From here, it all seems so peaceful, untouched, as if all that has happened was nothing but a bad dream. I guess, as far as the world is concerned, it doesn't make a difference whether we live or die.
Скорее всего, нет. Так что теперь?
Now it's up to us.
Что ж, друзья, на этом на сегодня закончим. Вот такое замечательное произведение. Всем спасибо за просмотр. Не болейте и до новых встреч.